Hello everyone, we're back with another video. Today I'm talking about meet directing. Now, so when I was like planning this video, because like before I do these videos, I read everything out, so I kind of like get my thoughts together a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. Like meet directing, like my gym is a very large gym, and it takes like 3 people to run it. Okay, a meet minimum is like 15 staff. Like it's a large operation. There's a lot of moving parts. You've got heavyweights flying. A lot can go wrong. This one will be more broad picture. And then I'll probably have to do like a legit series about like all the nitty gritty, the nuts and bolts. It's almost, when I started doing this, I'm like, you know what? I'll volunteer to help you. If you want to direct a meet, and like I didn't direct my first 2 meets. I had a mentor that helped me direct and do this stuff. I'm more than willing. If you live somewhere fun, I will fly out on my own dime and I'll help you run a meet. We'll do some sort of profit share or whatever. It could be really fun, and then hopefully we get you off on your own. I've got enough going on, but if it's a fun location, I haven't been yet, I'm more than happy to come out, help you out. With the meet, kind of avoid making some mistakes. And that takes me to my first point. My first point is find someone with experience. Don't try to do this like off the cuff, right? Unless you have a lot of experience refereeing or you have a lot of experience like working meets, I would not advise you to run a meet. There's a lot of things that can break. There's a lot of things that go wrong. There's a lot of technology. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of people. They're really large scale operations. So I would recommend finding someone with experience to help with a meet if you're going to choose to do a meet. Now, if you're in an area that has no meets, like none whatsoever, it's probably okay for you to go and direct a meet. Either there's one meet or there's none, right? I mean, it could be the worst meet, but at least there's a meet, right? You're in like South Dakota and there's nothing. You're probably okay. To do a meet. But other than that, I find someone with experience to work with. That's kind of why I offered myself up. It kind of just will make more sense. But yeah, point 2 is find the right venue. This is the most important thing with meet directing, is finding the right venue. Like, that's it. Find the right venue, and it'll solve most of your problems. You should not run a meet at a venue that doesn't have at least 2 bathroom stalls per bathroom, right? There needs to be at least 2 stalls. You cannot just have 1 toilet. You need to have multiple toilets, because gyms are typically just not set up to house 200 people at any given time. You're never gonna have a gym. I own a very large gym, and we have at most maybe 100 people in the facility at any given time. Gyms they're not designed that way, and that's okay. But when you're running meets inside of a gym, you have to make sure you find the right venue. And trust me, there's a gym or facility that has the right accommodation. You just gotta look for it. And again, this kind of goes back to the first point where I said, if there aren't any meets in your gym, you're in rural Timbuktu, like you can go ahead and run a meet at a not so great facility. Just make sure to keep the sessions smaller, so you can kind of avoid those issues. I don't think it's the end of the world. I've done meets. I competed at a meet last year that only had 1 bathroom, and it was fine. Fine. Fine is not the word. It was okay. Like, it's not great, but it's fine. You can also get porta potties and stuff, but that's kind of yicky, and unless you get really nice ones, and then you're talking about an expense and stuff. Find the right venue, negotiate with that venue. For your first meet, I wouldn't be paying more than $500 to $1,000 for that meet. And I would go in and I would go to the owner or whoever I'm talking to, and I would go, listen, this is the first time I'm doing this. We're just gonna see how it goes. Okay, if it goes really well, you're gonna see the results, I'm gonna see the results, and then we can just negotiate on the next one, right? So I wouldn't pay any more than $1,000. There's very few gyms that are like powerlifting gyms that are making $30,000 a month, right? That's $1,000 a day, right? There's very few. Probably wasn't until after my first year of gym ownership that we were even making. Obviously, we're a much bigger location now, but like a gym owner's gonna be happy to take $1,000 to do nothing, right? So be like negotiate pretty hard. Don't let them take the door. Okay, that's dumb. The door at sometimes could be more than the entry fees. Don't do that. $1,000 to $500 is a pretty fair amount for the facility. And then if the owner wants to run their own meat, then they can run their own meat. You know, it's a lot of work. Get the right equipment. This is interesting. So like, I worked at a meet at McKendree University, and they only had one combo on the platform, but it was like an athletic training area. So they had like 10 different squat racks that had multiple level adjustments and had a bench press. And that was actually really nice. I think that's okay. If you have like that, like a college weight room style place, that's a really, really good spot to be doing something in. You have to have a lever arm adjustable combo rack. You have to have calibrated plates. You have to have a 20 kg bar. Like all that's going to be in. By the way, I'm dropping my checklist and my spreadsheet in the bio. I'm going to probably do a separate video. I have to do a separate video, maybe something attached to this video going over those, just so you know, like all the different levels, and how to use those spreadsheets and how that all makes sense. But anyway, yeah, get the right equipment. I have all calibrated plates, all combo racks, all power bars. That's kind of become the expectation with a higher level sanctioned meet, is to have all that equipment. So, I mean, really try to make sure you have that. But yeah, I mean, if you open a meet up and there's demand for it, you're going to get 30, 40 entries. That should pay for a set of everything. And you should be able to, if you open the meet 5 to 6 months beforehand, you should get everything in time. So you can kind of fund it that way. Have everything ready, but you can kind of fund it. That's kind of how you start building that as a business, meet directing. And maybe that's where I'll go with this series, is talk about meet directing as a business. But yeah, promote. This is obvious if you see my other videos. Remember, I think about my business every hour of every day. Okay, you don't, you shouldn't. And so you need to realize that people aren't always thinking about your meet. They're not always thinking, oh, I need to go sign up for the meet. Oh, I need to go sign up for the meet. They have to constantly be reminded. So you constantly need to promote what you have going on. So you need to post about it lots and lots and lots. You need to get on the local Pilots in America page. You need to have your own personal page. You need to work with some friends you may have to promote the meet. And you have to constantly be doing it. You have to start to build an email list of people. There's tons of things. I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface really on promotion of powerlifting meets. Like, it's really not a really established business, so we haven't really touched the surface on that. But you can really do some really creative things to promote your meet. Make sure it's uploaded on the Pilots in America website. Make sure people can access it there. That's going to be one of your big marketing channels. But yeah, tips and tricks. I only wrote train your spotters. The more I'm doing this, the more I kind of do these off the cuff. There's so much that goes into this, like literally so much. I think what I want to do is I'll probably find someone who wants to direct a meet with me, and I will just like do a video series with them talking about all the things on the checklist, all the things like to get going, so they can run a successful meet. I think that'll help, kind of like a case study type thing. But yeah, I've got tons of tips. Like train your spotters. Like training your spotters takes 5-10 minutes. I've got a pretty good spiel. I mean, the biggest thing you can do is always pay them a flat rate. So I pay $100 per session to the spotters. And I go, hey guys, so first off, every extra 10 seconds you take in a 24 to 30 lifter meet adds 30 minutes to the end of the meet. You guys are getting paid a flat rate. Make sure you're going as fast as possible. That helps kind of condense the meet. It doesn't drag on. There's no reason the spotters can't go fast. It just makes the meet more efficient. That's a big thing. Trying to think what else. A lot of it's like front end economics. So I recommend charging between $130 and $140, as high as $150 for a meet entry. What that does is a couple things. One, it allows you to have a lot of money to pour into these events. It allows you to do a lot of cool things. You don't have to pinch pennies at all. It also allows you to run a smaller meet than normal. If you only get 10 lifters at $150, you can still run the meet. You still have enough money to pay everyone and pay for everything, especially if you include admission. You should be charging spectators $20. That's just the way it is. That's the price. You need that money to run an effective meet. There really isn't any other options. And you, as a director, deserve to get paid. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of hours. It's probably, if you get really efficient, it's probably 20 hours. But if it's your first time, you're probably looking at 30 hours of work per meet. And so if you're making, you probably deserve to be making 25 to 30 bucks an hour to do this. So you're looking at, you should be making at least $1,000 yourself to do this. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then you just need to, as long as you're not stealing from people. If people are giving you your money, you're taking it. Just make sure you offer really good value. Make sure people want to come back. There's really not a whole, I mean, just think about it. Like all you think about is, so there's a Chipotle analogy. Chipotle was, when it came out, it was $5 for this amazing, huge burrito. And you really can't get any much more better value than a $5 burrito. So I like to think about, I think about that burrito. I think about, how can I make something as good as the $5 Chipotle burrito? Like, how can I make it so good people are like, this is amazing, right? So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the global overarching. Like I said, this is probably just part one. This is the overarching message. And then I'll get into kind of the nitty gritty in the subsequent episodes. So stay tuned.